Am I the asshole here for dropping our baby off on my ex-husband and demanding that he take the baby every other week, even though he wants to be an every other weekend kind of dad? This is so messy. My ex-husband, 29 male, and I, 28 female, originally agreed not to have any children. We live in Texas, and this world just isn't a place that I wanted to bring a child into. I also never wanted to be a mother. My IUD failed, and I got pregnant. I was devastated because I wouldn't be able to get an abortion since we live in Texas. I wanted to travel out of state to get an abortion, and I wanted him to get a vasectomy since I didn't want to risk this happening again. But he refused both. He said he wouldn't take me out of state to get one, and he made me very scared of criminal charges. He also refused a vasectomy to prevent more children since he didn't want to mutilate himself. Long story short, I filed for a divorce a month after the baby was born. It took a little over 2 months for the divorce to be finalized, which was a month ago. The baby is now 4 months old, and the maternity leave that I was lucky enough to have is up. Ex-husband has moved into his own apartment. I live alone in my home that I owned prior to marriage that I inherited from my grandparents. Ex-husband has been visiting the baby here and there on weekends, but hasn't had the baby overnight ever. I've suggested it, but he refused. To be honest, I don't really like being a mother. The baby and I just haven't bonded much. I've heard that sometimes it takes a while. I've been overwhelmed and I needed a break. I tried calling him and talking to him about agreeing to a custody situation. He blew me off and said he'll let me know when he finds a weekend that works for him. I was really pissed. I had this baby because of him largely, or I would have gotten an abortion. I love my baby, but I don't want to be a full-time mum. I want 50-50. I work from home as a software developer, and I'm lucky enough to be able to watch the baby while I work, so I don't have to pay for daycare, but I need time to be productive with my work. So I figure 1 week can be unproductive while watching my child, and the next week I can work extra hard to make up for it. My job is flexible, so it will work for me. My ex was dodging my calls, so I took our son and a diaper bag and showed up at my ex's work. He works as a car salesman. He was shocked to see me, and even more shocked when I handed him the baby. I told him, "We're doing 50-50 custody. You have the baby this week. You can drop him off at my house next Monday." He freaked out, said who will watch the baby while he works. I suggested that he pay for daycare if he needs it, and he said he can't afford daycare. We argued, and I told him to figure it out. If I have to figure out how to be a mum, he has to figure out how to be a dad. His parents are calling me every name under the damn sun. Meanwhile, they don't want to babysit for him. Am I the asshole here? Edit. For all of you suggesting adoption, I tried that while I was pregnant. Ex refused. I couldn't give the baby up for adoption without his permission. Also, I've contacted a lawyer about getting custody formalized, but I haven't heard back. In the comments, a shamed director says, "So he doesn't want the baby, but wouldn't allow you to abort and threatened you legal action if you did abort. He doesn't want to look after the baby, but refuses to allow you to adopt the child out. Yeah, you need to speak with a lawyer soon. Either he steps up and actually looks after his child a minimum of half the time, or he needs to sign the adoption papers. Does anyone really think that it's in the baby's best interests to grow up with 2 parents who fight to make the other take him on the regular? No. I would find an attorney and get him to the abandoned status of the baby, and then you could pursue adoption. That baby shouldn't grow up with both parents not wanting him. And this all needs to be done ASAP. The first year is critical for bonding with a caregiver. There are many couples struggling with infertility who have all but given up trying to adopt a baby. Please, OP, help your baby by taking your ex to court. Be honest about your feelings and your intention to do the right thing. Those ex-in-laws are horrible for not stepping up either. Not the arsehole. Your ex can't say, "I won't get snipped, you can't have an abortion, and you can't give the baby up for adoption, but also I don't want to be involved." Honestly, I would get a lawyer. If you really don't want to be a mum, that's okay, but maybe the lawyer can help you put it up for adoption, or you can try to go for 50-50, or you can just be honest. I didn't want children, but he forced the situation. I want to put the little one up for adoption, and he also refused. Since he was the one that wanted a child, I want him to have full custody. I'll pay child support, and I will stay away. And his parents can be as mad as they want, but this was his fault. Don't let them guilt trip you into thinking otherwise. Okay, so I just looked ahead to the updates, and that's heavy. That's rough. Jesus, what a story to start with today, huh? So maybe skip to the next story if you're not ready for a rough story. Just gonna put plenty of time for you guys to hear that ahead of time. This is a bit above Reddit pay grade in terms of discussing this topic, I guess, because it is going to get very heated. My take on this one is that you're not the asshole, OP, but I don't think it's my place to get further into discussion on this one, unfortunately. I did warn you, skip the update if you don't want to see this. And now, onto the update. Less than a day after my last post, I attempted suicide. I took every hidden pain pill that I had left over from surgeries, etc., and just went to sleep. If it weren't for my cousin coming to check on how I was doing without the baby, I wouldn't be here today. I spent 16 days in inpatient psych and was diagnosed with PPD and postpartum psychosis. After my Reddit post, I was flooded with comments and DMs telling me what a monster I am for having a child that I didn't originally want. People said that my child would be better off without me, that my ex-husband and I am just going to ruin our child's life. Adoption was something pushed, because to most commenters there was no way that I could ever manage to be a good mother. I had considered adoption at one point, but the time for that had passed. Many people latched onto that as a sign that I shouldn't have my child. The worst part were the DMs. A lot of people outright told me to just kill myself so my child doesn't have to deal with me anymore. Many men said women are just whores who don't want to deal with the consequences of sex. Many tried to pressure me into giving them my child. Couples with infertility issues telling me that it's not fair that I had a child that I didn't want while they are struggling, and that my child would be better off with them. There was even one where she started off friendly and helpful, and we chatted for hours, just to turn and call me every name in the book when I said that I'm not giving her my child. It was all too much. I already felt terrible for just needing a break and some time to myself. It had been a long time since I've so much as showered alone. In inpatient, I met a very kind nurse who told me that she struggled with the same things after having her child, and it took a long time to bond. But eventually, everything clicked into place. I'll never forget her. Since getting out, my ex and his family have been quiet and somewhat apologetic. He has agreed to split custody. My ex asked me to pay a small amount towards daycare for his custody time, with his parents also chipping in, and I agreed. He's had the baby since I've been out, as I've been adjusting to some med changes that have been making me feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. But he drops the baby off for a few hours at a time, and my cousin is mostly here to help me. Things have been okay, and they're getting better. I've been remorseful, and the thought of my child growing up without a mother potentially made me sad. I'm in therapy, and I'm trying to do whatever I can to be a better mother. I just needed help. So yeah, my advice to anyone out there who is struggling, go to counseling. Find some kind of group therapy to attend. Reach out to your family. Get psychiatric help if you need it. There's a lot of bad people out there, and the internet is not your friend. I'm glad I'm still here. Other women haven't been as lucky, and there's even some that have taken their babies with them. If it were up to some people who DM'd me, I'd be dead right now. In the comments, Economy Code says, the number of crazy and insane people out there who think that a mother can just legally hand a baby over for adoption without the father's permission is astounding. I absolutely understand why she couldn't just do that, but man, it's awful that she got trapped that way. Quote, many men just said that women are whores who don't want to deal with the consequences of sex. Imagine reading this post and concluding that the woman is the person not dealing with the consequences of sex. Right? She was the only one up to that point. It's infuriating that the husband could block abortion and adoption and then think he'd only have to do every other weekend. At the end of the day, I'm happy that things are looking on the up and up for OP. Seemingly, not good, what a lot of people on Reddit said to her. And it's, a reminder that Reddit can also seemingly be filled with absolute lunatics, absolute psychopaths, who will try and take your baby from you. And lead to stories like this update, in which OP tried to take her life. All I can really say is I'm very glad that OP got the help that she needed, and I hope that she figures things out like that nurse had said that she would. So thank you for the story, OP. I still don't think you're an asshole. Our next post is by user Upper Class Habits, and it's titled, "My boyfriend is going away for all of Memorial Day weekend to spend time with his friend, 31 female, in a cabin alone. So my ex, 25 male at the time, and I, 25 female at the time, started as friends at work, and our relationship was great. He was my best friend. But issues came up with his longtime female friends. They'd say, 'I love you,' sit on each other's laps and touch each other's in ways that I felt were inappropriate. Despite expressing my discomfort and asking him to set boundaries, he couldn't. So I messaged the women myself out of frustration, which blew up the situation. Fast forward, my current boyfriend, 31 male, and I, 29 female now, also started as close work friends and developed a strong mutual relationship. We've been friends now for 8 months, officially dating for 4 months. He's a kind, giving person and sees serving others as a part of his faith, which I admire. But a situation with his female friend Olivia, 30 female, is bringing back those same feelings of being second. Olivia, who lives in another state, my boyfriend's home state where he moved from almost a year ago, and knows about me, invited herself for his birthday weekend this Memorial Day weekend and booked a cabin just for the two of them, from Friday to Monday. She's shown no interest in meeting me, and though I was initially supportive, I now feel excluded and confused. He has said multiple times that he doesn't even want to go, that he feels trapped. He suspects that she might have romantic feelings and wouldn't normally hang out with her this long, but he's going anyway because he feels bad. She has chronic health issues and recently lost her dog. I'm angry and sad. I don't expect to be the center of anyone's universe, but I can't understand why he'd prioritize someone he doesn't even seem close to over me, especially when I've been clear about how this impacts me. I want to be understanding and supportive, but I also want to feel respected and prioritized. How do I approach this without trying to control the situation or sacrificing my own emotional well-being? In the comments, so he feels bad if he disappoints her, but is okay with disappointing you. That tells you all you need to know about his potential as your boyfriend. That's what breakups are for. Try before you buy. In this instance, it's a good thing the relationship has been a short one. This is exactly right. I would take it one step further than just telling him that it's over. I hope you can find a guy friend to start hanging out with. Just a friend, of course. And I hope you will then be unavailable for dates with your soon-to-be ex, because I'm sure this new friend has lost a pet or has some other issues that you can help with. Your soon-to-be ex needs to understand how this feels. Maybe try telling him the truth that if he goes on this trip, it'll be the end of your relationship. If he won't put her in her place even when he's uncomfortable, then she will always be around. Do you really want to put up with her forever? It's only been 4 months and you can already see it coming. Is it worth it? OP says, I don't think so, and I think this is definitely proving to be a litmus test. I can't stand to be someone who doesn't learn from her past experiences. You seem great, but I've been through this before, and I need someone who always puts their partner first. This isn't gonna work for me, sorry. That's about as much explanation as you owe him. Whoa. He's going because he doesn't want to hurt her feelings, but he's completely happy hurting yours? No way, nah-uh. He's in a relationship with you. His priority is you. He's aware that his friend could have romantic feelings, and for some reason, that alone isn't stopping him from going? Red flags. Cut your losses while you can. You shouldn't have to do anything. He should have said no straight up. This shouldn't have been a consideration for him. If he knows how you feel and goes anyway, then he's not the one for you. Yeah, I agree with that, and this definitely is something that's breakup worthy. And as you said, you have been through this before. Don't let yourself fall for the same bullshit, because it's pretty much that exact same situation that you described at 25. I'm sure he's going to give you a reasonable explanation for why we can't break off this 4-month relationship, because the reality you're experiencing is actually warped and crazy and messed up, and the real reality which I'm presenting you is actually much more honest and understandable. And boyfriends of 4 months always spend an entire weekend with another girl alone in a cabin in the woods. There's nothing wrong with that, everyone does that. What's wrong with you, OB? What's wrong with a little gaslighting? Let me gaslight you a little bit more. How does it feel? Anyway, not the asshole for this one, and I think you should just get rid of him. So please do it. And now, on to the update. So I offered potential solutions. I offered compromises. I was clear with what exactly was bothering me and that I would never put him in this position. I told him he would be so incredibly hurt, and rightfully so, if I did this to him. I told him he could decide for himself what he wants to do, and I told him what I wouldn't be tolerating from a partner. He acknowledged and agreed that everything I was saying was true. Then he went, because he wants to get out of the habit of being so flaky and made a commitment, so he has to go. I texted him that I'll always love him, now only as a friend, like I told him from the very beginning. Now I'm not even sure I can or want to. Love is a choice. The opposite of love is indifference, and he's all but told me that he's indifferent to me both as a partner and as a friend. Thanks for the tough love, Reddit. I'd rather be angry at him, at myself for not seeing this coming, than be sad while he feels absolutely nothing. In the comments, After Distribution says, just cut him off completely, OP. That's the best thing for you, and that's what matters here. Agreed, OP. You need to be careful. When he comes back, he'll try to get you back. Nah. Once he's fulfilled his commitment to cheat on OP, gotta keep his word, by the way, he'll monkey branch into a new relationship with his friend. This clocked it. No contact is glorious. Never answer a text or call from an unknown number. Oh, if only half the effort was put into the relationship that they expend in hoovering and love bombing. Please, tell us this means that you ended it. You deserve so much better. This boyfriend is 31 and wants to work on not being flaky. He wants to honor a commitment. I don't think he understands what commitment means if he leaves his partner feeling alone, disrespected, and unimportant. How about he works on being a committed partner? Please tell us you've seen the light. OP says, yes. Outstanding. That mess is not yours to deal with. I think we're happy that you're free of him. Be well and take care of yourself, sis. Bella Missy Storm says, good on you, OP. Did he respond to your text? Sorry, but there's no way that what he did was the right choice. He dismissed your feelings completely. He never gave a crap. OP says, he very ignorantly replied, does this mean that you're ending the relationship? And then patronizingly said, I admire you for putting up your boundaries. It's more than I've certainly done. Oh my god. Damn. I admire you for having boundaries. I certainly have none. What a self-aware asshole. Why would you love this asshole even as a friend after he did this to you? Just go no contact and forget this person. He doesn't care about you at all. OP says, in between sending that and now, he replied with nothing but patronizing support for my ability to set boundaries that he couldn't. He fully acknowledged what happened and responded with indifference. That's all since made it impossible for me to want anything to do with him. Yeah, and rightfully so. Jesus Christ. That's like a handshake mixed with a slap to the face. And every time he's replying to you, it's just that, but more intense. What a dickhead. Yeah, it's best that you're rid of this guy. I don't think he was even in this relationship to begin with, OP. I don't think he thought of the relationship as a commitment. I think you were just a pit stop on the way to whoever he's going to go be seeing next. Sorry that you've had to tackle with this. Sorry that you've experienced this, but it happens. And it's good that he revealed himself after 4 months and not after a year or more. We hate a time waster, and you're so much better off without him, so please just completely forget everything that he's done to you if you can. Thank you for the story. Good luck. Our next post is by user BeRealSon, and it's titled, Am I the asshole for refusing to let my future brother-in-law borrow my grandfather's vintage watch for his wedding, even though it said to bring good luck? I, 30 male, am engaged to Sarah, 29 female, and our wedding is in 10 months. I have my grandfather's vintage watch, which he wore on his own wedding day. It's a family tradition that the firstborn son wears it on his wedding day for good luck. Since my dad passed away when I was young, the watch came to me, and I've always planned to wear it when I get married. My future brother-in-law, Ben, 28 male, is Sarah's younger brother, and he's getting married in 4 months. He knows about the watch and its significance. Recently, he asked if he could borrow it for his wedding, arguing that since his wedding is first, he should be the one to have the good luck. I told him no, because I want to honor the family tradition and wear it myself. Ben was upset and told Sarah that I'm being selfish. Sarah is caught in the middle. She understands my attachment to the watch, but also feels for her brother. Now, her parents are saying that I should let Ben wear it first, as it's just a watch and traditions can be flexible. I really value this tradition and the memory of my grandfather. Am I being unreasonable by refusing to let Ben borrow the watch? In the comments, Mobius Stripping says, not the arsehole. Not Ben's family, not Ben's watch, not Ben's luck. You have a fiancé problem. She's only caught in the middle because she's not making the very reasonable and simple statement to her own family that they are out of line, and this is a hard no. Can't say it any better than this. Ben has some serious audacity. I hope that watch is in a safe place. With Ben's entitled attitude, the backing of his parents, and Sarah's lack of a spine, what the hell is this feels for her brother and caught in the middle shit? I wouldn't be the least surprised if it disappears. Ask them, if it's just a watch, why is it so important to Ben to wear it? You're not the arsehole, and you have many years of fighting your in-laws ahead of you. I'm also a little bit worried that Sarah isn't 100% on your side. OP says, thanks for the support and the great point. You're right. If it is just a watch to Ben, then why is he so set on wearing it? I'm definitely going to ask him that. I'm also a bit concerned Sarah isn't fully backing me, so I'm planning to talk to her soon to make sure that she's on my side and we set clear boundaries with her family. Appreciate the heads up about future in-law issues. I, too, don't see why he wants to be so in on the family tradition. Like, it literally is not his family, and he's trying to steal the first son place, when he is not at all the first son in this family. If anything, this just feels like a power play towards OP to kind of steal that thunder from him and like forcefully embarrass him. Like, I don't understand why you would forcibly try to do that to someone. If anything, this would just make any normal person not want to do it even more. I already said no, and now you're insistent on it. Why do you think your insistence is going to make me want to be like, actually, yeah, you're so keen for it, here you go. My mistake saying no the first time. Some people need to learn to take no for an answer, and some other people, Sarah, need to learn to stick up for you, OP. The hell is going on with her? And now, on to the update. Hey everyone, thanks for the comments on my post. They really got me thinking. I talked to Sarah last night after work about Ben wanting my grandfather's watch, and it turned into a massive fight. We figured things out eventually, but it was a rough one. Here's what happened. I started by telling Sarah there's no way Ben's getting the watch. It's my grandfather's, worn on his wedding day, and the tradition is that the firstborn son wears it for good luck. Since my dad passed away when I was young, it's mine, and I've always planned to wear it at our wedding in 10 months. I hit her with what some of you suggested. If it is just a watch to Ben, then why is he so desperate to wear it for his wedding in 4 months? She got heated, saying Ben's freaking out about his wedding and thinks the good luck will make it perfect. I called that straight up entitled. Ben's got no claim to my family's heirloom, and I'm not handing it over. Then I went in on her for not having my back, like a lot of you pointed out. I said she's only caught in the middle because she won't tell Ben and her parents to back off. Sarah lost it, shouting that I'm forcing her to pick sides, and her parents are blowing up her phone, saying I'm being a jerk for clinging to a relic. That set me off. I yelled that it's not a relic. It's all I have left of my dad and grandfather, and if she can't see that, maybe she doesn't care about me. She snapped back that I'm fixated on a stupid tradition and making her family feel like garbage. I told her that if we're getting married, she needs to act like my fiancé, not Ben's defender. It got nastier. I said that I'll lock the watch in a safe because I don't trust her family not to misplace it, and she flipped, screaming that I'm calling them thieves. I shouted that I wouldn't have to if she'd just shut this down from the start. She started crying, saying that I'm making her feel like a horrible fiancé, and I wasn't calm. I snapped that she's letting me down by siding with Ben. She grabbed her bag, said she's done with me for now, and stormed out to her friend's place. I was furious, thinking this might be more than just the watch. Late last night, Sarah called, still upset, but calmer. She said she doesn't want this to ruin us. I admitted that I got too worked up, but I stood by needing her support. She broke down, saying she gets how much the watch means and feels awful for calling it a relic. She promised to tell Ben and her parents that it's a hard no, and that we'll face them together this weekend. She's coming home today, and we agreed to work on talking without blowing up, especially with her family causing trouble. To keep things cool, we're considering getting Ben a nice watch as a wedding gift, so he's got something without touching mine. In the comments, Emily Yancey says, I'd still hide that watch. She still doesn't get it. And OP says, it's going in the bank safe. Red Electro asks, is this someone that you want to marry? There is literally no reason for Ben to wear the watch. Even if it wasn't significant, he doesn't have the right to borrow anything of yours. Quote, she started crying, saying I'm making her feel like a horrible fiancé. Ma'am, there's a reason for that. And it isn't just Ben feeling entitled to the watch, it's his parents going into full attack mode to make OP hand over the watch to Ben. These are the in-laws that he is choosing. OP, I think you need to put off your wedding for at least a year to make sure that your fiancé understands that her parents and brother will destroy your relationship if allowed. I wouldn't buy her brother a watch. That'll just teach him to demand things until you cave and buy him something equivalent. Do not ever reward entitled greed. Never. You will regret starting that type of expectation. What if he wants your car? Will you help him buy his own? What if your house is nicer? Will you help him buy a more expensive one? You and your fiancé need some serious counseling about protecting your relationship from your families of origin, which will mostly be about her needing to set boundaries with her family. She should be the one shutting down both her brother and her parents. I would absolutely not buy him a watch. That would just reward the greedy entitlement. And now, onto the latest updates. Wedding gift for brother-in-law, Reverso or Tank. I plan to get my brother-in-law a wedding gift for his wedding in a few months. I was thinking either the JLC Reverso or the Cartier Tank. What do you guys think? I never really wear dress watches, so don't know much about the wearing experience of either. Or do you suggest something else? And here is the first watch for reference, and the second watch for reference. In the comments, Livid Sloth says, came here from your Am I the Arsehole? Do not get that spoiled son of a bitch a watch. Hand him money in a card and move on. As someone with a similar brother-in-law, these things actually enable the behavior, and you'll regret it, like me, in the long run. It's placating his behavior. Say no, stick to your boundaries, and move on. Please. There is so much that I'd do differently. Neither. He doesn't deserve any. After all the drama and distress he's caused you, I wouldn't buy him either watch. I'm sorry, but capitulating to his demands, even in this small way, is not the way to go. You're setting a bad precedent for future behavior. OP really needs to reevaluate this relationship. She's showing where he will always stand in her life against her family. He's signing up for a lifetime of running in 3rd or 4th place in his own marriage. P.S. I also don't understand her brother's obsession with wanting to co-opt another family's tradition and heirloom. It feels like a power play of some kind. And that's all I have for you guys today. I do hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.